Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and it's that season again where everyone's looking for a great deal. And if that's the case with you, here are 9 knives that you don't want to miss. One of my favorite parts of my job here at the Knife Center is getting to help design the exclusives that we bring to you folks. But as things kind of run their course, every once in a while it's time to kind of clear the shelves and make room for the next stuff. And that's what we're going to look at today. Some Knife Center exclusives that have been discontinued and marked down, giving you the opportunity for a good deal this time of year. We're going to start off with several knives that feature S35 VN steel. Now, it wasn't too long ago that, to get a steel like S35 VN, which boasts very good edge retention and stainless qualities, while being tough enough to, kind of use hard when you need it to, being able to find that for less than $100 is pretty rare. Nowadays, not always the case, and with these discounted prices, even better. We're going to start with the CIVIVI Cogent. Everyone loves a button lock mechanism nowadays, whether you're buying something like this for yourself or as a gift this upcoming season. This is going to satisfy a lot of folks. You've got fantastic action, as you can see. You got a flipper tab as well, so you can open it either one of those two ways. This is the CIVIVI Cogent, marked down to just under $90 right now. 3.5 inch blade, S35 VN, generic clip point shape, but a very well executed one. Very acute tip for piercing, nice and thin, thinner than the standard model actually. We worked with them to get even better slicing performance out of this knife, combined with the greater edge retention. Seriously, it's kind of a dream like that. High flat grind, gonna make it a very good slicer. And ebony wood for the handles gives it a nice classy vibe, kind of a gentleman's tactical knife. That's the way we kind of like to think about our version of the Cogent anyway. It's classy, but don't look at it the wrong way, if you know what I mean. It knows what to do when things get tough. Deep carry pocket clip. It is reversible, so lefties and righties are gonna be able to use this knife very, very easily and effectively. Next up, we've got the Badlands Vagabond from CIVIVI, which, whether you go with our exclusive or you have one of the previous versions, which unfortunately those have all been discontinued. Honestly, one of CIVIVI's best actual designs, in my opinion. The actual shape of it is phenomenal, and with this exclusive S35 VN blade and thinner steel than the original, performs even better than the original, and priced right now at about $70. The handles are injection molded, white in this case. We've actually done some fun RIT dyeing projects on these if you wanted to mix the colors up, do something fun, or just leave it that classic black and white. It's a handle shape that's going to work for large-handed or small-handed folks, very neutral, and to me, everything about a knife, the first thing you feel when you're actually using any knife is the balance. And this knife has just such an impeccable balance. It's got a nimbleness to it that is hard to ignore, but hard to forget as well when you're actually using it, because it really is kind of a dream-like slicer. We've got a liner lock for your security right there. Right-hand bias lock, but the clip is reversible for left or right-hand carry. Action with the ball bearings and a crisp detent. I mean, it flips so good. And the thumb studs ain't too bad either, as you can see. If you want something that feels maybe a little more premium than the injection molded handle scales, how about some of our Centauri models? It's a Ray Laconico design made by ArtisanCutlery. We've got both large and small versions, several different handle and material combinations actually. We're discontinuing them all, so make sure to check out all that are available in the link below. But we've got S35 VN steel. The large has about a 3.5 inch blade, the small about a 3 inch blade, and the large is $99.95 right now. So right under that $100 mark for this version right here with the denim micarta handle scales. Really cool looking material. It's got a bit of texture, I think, in the hand, a little bit more on the matte side of things rather than a high polish. As such, you got a good amount of grip, which is good on a knife like this that has a pretty straight handle with no kind of finger guard in the way of the edge. Gives you that grip you want while also giving you the ability to choke up right behind that edge and do real precise stuff with the heel of that blade. Classing things up a bit, we've got a gold anodized titanium pocket clip, right side only in this case, and gold anodized pivot rings as well. It's kind of like the brass button on a pair of blue jeans is kind of the vibe we were going for with this. And as such, stonewashed finish on the blade as well to kind of complete that vibe. Locking is achieved by an inset liner lock right there, and opening is achieved by front flipping. And this is one of the rare front flippers that I have a very easy time using. Some of them are a little bit more tricky. This one is not so tricky. It works very well. Ball bearings in the pivot there, as is typical with Artisan's stuff. Love the blade shape. Good for big, powerful cuts, especially since you've got enough there for a full-handed grip. And it's going to slice pretty, or cut pretty efficiently as well, thanks to the geometry. Now for a really good deal on some S35 VN right now, check out our exclusive versions of the Kaizen from Boker. We've got two. We've got the dark brown, this is, brown G10 with black blade. We've also got a tan G10 with a satin blade, both with S35. $65 for the satin, about $70 for this black coated version right here. And look at this blade. I mean, it is just a whisper of a thing, not a hard use. You're gonna break down a shipping pallet with one of these things. But if you just need a pen knife, a pocket knife that is going to slice, that is just going to cut without getting in its own way, this is one of those knives that's gonna be hard to beat. High flat grind on this, very thin steel to start with, very narrow profile so it can go around turns and corners very efficiently. It's just going to cut like a laser beam. Or let's use a trope, shall we? It's gonna cut like a scalpel. You still with me? Good. Pocket clip on this is single-sided, right side tip up. We've got the back plate, or the back spacer here, forming what was kind of inspired by old school doctor's knives, which would be used to dispense medication and sometimes to turn pills into powder as well. Here is the closed profile of the knife. Very, very low profile, almost pen-like in nature, which is going to appeal to a lot of folks, especially if you're looking for a gift for someone who's not necessarily like a gung-ho knife person, but can appreciate fine things. Something like this could be very nice and very easy for them to implement in their daily life. Opening is achieved by this wee little flipper tab right back here, which may look like there needs to be more to get the job done, but even with my kind of big sausage fingers, it actually works really, really well. Quite intuitive and stays nice and out of the way, open or closed. Liner lock for safety. Very cool pattern overall. The biggest exclusive bargain we've got this year, though, happens to be another Boker Plus, which we happen to have in one of these same color combinations as this Kaizen, and that is the Cataclyst. We also have a satin-bladed version of this with the same handle color right here. 3-inch 440C blade, not as whisper thin, certainly, as the Kaizen. This thing is a little bit more of a compact, a little bit of a brute, if I'm honest. It's got some strength. If you don't have a ton of space in your pocket, or you might be limited to a certain amount of blade length where you or your giftee happens to live, but you want something built super strong and super tough, the geometry here is going to give you that. And 440C is nothing to sneeze at either in terms of the blade steel. Stainless steel liner lock here on the back, carved away so that it's not too heavy. G10 there on the front. Did I mention the price on this thing yet? You know the specs, you know the materials, they're all solid. $35 for one of these bad boys. And it flips very, very nicely, as you can see. We've got a deep carry pocket clip, right-handed in this case. A few extra little details that show they went the extra mile too, though. The clip is actually set inside of a pocket milled out of the stainless steel handle, and the screws holding it in are flush with that surface level, so there's nothing sticking out to kind of snag as you're going back into the pocket after you're finished cutting. Overall, it's a really sweet little knife at a very, very good price indeed. Next up, the Fox Suru has always been a very cool knife, and we have a little bit left of our golf ball version of this knife. Priced now at about $130. This is made in Italy, and it is a Jesper Vaknes design, as you can see from the logo there on the back. Compact knife, certainly, but like the Cataclyst we just looked at, it's not, a little shrinky-dink thing. There is a bit of girth to the handle, even though this is only a 3-finger grip without utilizing the finger choil. If you use that, you can get 4 fingers on that knife, no problem. N690 blade steel, nice and stout, 2.3 inches and some change on the blade length. So very, very good for restrictive locales. Wire deep carry pocket clip, right side only in this case. The handles are G10. You've got this dimpled texture, which gives it a ton of extra grip without feeling sharp. Like, it's gonna grab when you need it to, but it's not gonna raise a blister when you're using it. I don't think, anyway. To keep weight down, there are some holes milled out of the frame, as you can see, and it is aluminum as well. And to make sure the actual interface between that frame locking lock bar and the tang of the blade lasts a good long time, you do have a steel insert there just to keep things nice and stable. But it's a very cool knife, flips really nicely, works really well, and you really feel like you're gonna be able to work it hard without, breaking the knife as you go about your business. There you go. Next up, the Demko AD20.5. We have several versions of this, which we have marked down, starting with the version with K110 steel, which is an equivalent to D2. That is about $125 right now. Or if you want greater toughness and greater edge retention, you can go with the 3V tool steel version, of which this is one, $175 here. But that's an American-made steel on this particular knife. The action is what it's all about. This right here, the Shark Lock, is the reason this knife kind of took the knife enthusiast world by storm when it was released. It looks like it might get in the way, but it actually forms a nice thumb ramp in a standard grip, or you can choke up right past it if you need to. So it stays out of the way despite its looks. And then, as you've already seen me do, flicks open and closed in an extremely satisfying way. The sound of it is so, so nice. You can get this in 2 different blade shapes with a few different finishes depending on which ones are marked down at the link below. You got your clip point right here, which is just a good basic all-around shape, 3.2 inches. The sheep's foot style blade, which they call shark foot, tongue-in-cheek with the Shark Lock there, comes in just under 3 inches. A lot of capability in the blade shapes and the blade geometry right here. Good compromise between strength and slicing capabilities. Good strength from that lock as well. In fact, very strong, and yet, as you can see, nice and thin. So easy to carry every day, easy to deploy that strength in everyday life. The handles are injection molded. We have several different colors, several different 2 different blade shapes and 2 different finishes that you can choose from. Check them all out below. Very cool and very good deal on each of these. For another hardworking folder to check out this Barrage from Benchmade. A little bit thicker on the handles here and bigger knife overall, 3.6 inches on the blade. Thicker G10 handle scales that do a fantastic job of filling up the hand. You really feel like you can work with this for hours, even doing heavy jobs without it becoming uncomfortable. Like the Demko we just looked at, the 3V versions I should say, we've got a tool steel here, CPM M4, another American-made steel. This whole knife is actually made in America as well. And although they're not identical steels, M4 also sits in a realm where it possesses very high toughness along with very good edge retention. It is not stainless, however, hence the black coating here is going to help things a little bit. But I love the geometry of this blade. Again, it's a good cross-section between strength and slicing. We're not too thick, we have a high flat grind, and we have a full-length swedge going on as well to relieve drag from the spine. Makes it a very, very efficient cutter. Strength, you've got the ambidextrous crossbar lock there, which Benchmade, of course, calls the axis lock, and this is an assisted opening version of that lock, meaning as soon as you start to push that blade open, once you hit that certain point, the spring takes over and finishes the action. Very consistent, very speedy every time. And comes with a spine-mounted safety lock, just as a little bit of extra peace of mind. And what that does is basically prevent the crossbar from moving around, which prevents it from closing when you don't want it to, or from opening in your pocket or in a bag when you don't want it to either. The other cool thing I like about crossbar locks in general is they're very ambidextrous, and they've maintained the ambidextrous use all around this knife with the reversible pocket clip and the dual thumb studs as well. I didn't mention the price yet. $194 here, marked down originally like 243 bucks when these first were made available. So good stuff there. I should say also the Demko we looked at is also completely ambidextrous. The pocket clip is not reversible, but it has a second pocket clip included that you could put on the other side for the left-handed users. Last but not least, we have got a couple of Spydercos to talk about. I've got one of them here, the Endura 4. This is coming in about $195 right now with black Pakkawood handles and a VG10 core Damascus blade. How cool does this look? I mean, absolutely fantastic vibes. The Pakkawood is nice because it looks like natural wood. It's because it is made from layers of actual wood, but it is epoxied together essentially, and you get the vibes and the feel and the warmth of real wood, but it's not gonna shrink and crack the way natural wood can sometimes. It's gonna be much more stable over the long term, well, without giving up those good looks. The blade slices a treat. We've got 3.8 inches, full flat ground, very, very slicey. Also another knife that's perfectly ambidextrous. The thumb hole works for opening no matter which hand you go to use it with. You've got a 4-position pocket clip, so you can put it either side, tip up or tip down. And of course, the mid-mounted backlock, classic style of security right there, is equally usable left or right. And it even has that nice little feature there called the David Boy Dent, which makes it a little easier to find when you are kind of accessing it or going to close it without looking at it. But also, when you go and grip this knife really hard, it makes it less likely to be accidentally disengaged. A little bit of passive safety there. Or would that be active safety? I'm not sure. But anyway, a little bit of extra safety there, which is quite nice. You can also check out for about the same price the Endura model that comes, instead of the VG10 blade, we've got a HAP 40 blade laminated with stainless layers on the outside. Another great tool steel, high performance powder metal tool steel. And those have a brown Pakkawood handle for even a more natural vibe as opposed to the like dyed wood that this kind of gives you, or more like ebony, I should say, which brings us full circle back to that first knife, doesn't it? Anyway, I hope these have been interesting. These are all knives that I enjoyed kind of helping have a part of bringing to the Knife Center, and I hope they can find some good homes for the holidays this year at some good prices. Anyway, if you want to get your hands on any of them, check out the links in the description below. That will take you to these individual items, and we'll also leave a link to all the exclusives we have on sale right now as well. And while you're over at the site, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program, meaning that when you give the gift of a knife this year, whether it's to yourself or someone else, you get to earn some free money back towards a future purchase. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center, signing off. See you next time.